Imagine a world where the government can't just print more money. No more bailouts, no more stimulus checks. Just silence from the printing press. Would our carefully constructed economic house of cards crumble? Would society fracture under the strain? And let's find the answer to the question, what if? The immediate impact of a world unable to print money would be catastrophic. A stagnant money supply would trigger not hyperinflation, but a crippling deflation. Prices would plummet, leaving businesses unable to cover costs, leading to widespread bankruptcies and mass unemployment. Companies facing shrinking revenues and falling demand would be forced to downsize or shutter entirely, throwing millions out of work and creating a vicious cycle of economic decline. This initial shock would reverberate throughout the global economy, impacting every sector and leaving individuals struggling to survive in a suddenly resource-scarce environment. Without the ability to print money, governments lose a crucial tool for managing economic downturns. Fiscal policy, reliant on government spending, would be severely hampered. Funding for social programs, infrastructure projects, and crucial public services would drastically decrease. To compensate for reduced spending, governments would heavily rely on taxation, potentially leading to significantly higher tax rates. This could spark widespread social unrest as citizens struggle with increased financial burdens and reduced access to essential services, creating a volatile political and social landscape. The financial landscape would undergo a radical transformation. Central banks, stripped of their power to inflate the money supply, would become guardians of strict monetary discipline. Their focus would shift from stimulating growth to maintaining the integrity of the existing currency. This could lead to the rise of alternative financial systems. Bartering, local currencies, or even cryptocurrency could gain traction as people seek ways to transact in a world devoid of readily available fiat currency. Investment strategies would also fundamentally change. Long-term, tangible assets would be prioritized over speculative ventures, emphasizing sustainable growth and responsible resource management, a stark contrast to our current, often short-sighted financial practices. A world without money creation would see intensified competition for limited resources, potentially exacerbating existing inequalities and sparking social unrest. The wealthy, holding more assets, might fare better, while the less fortunate could face significant hardship. Simultaneously, communities might become more self-sufficient, fostering local economies and stronger social bonds through mutual support networks. However, this increased self-reliance could also lead to regional isolation and a widening gap between thriving and struggling communities. This new reality would likely shift cultural values, promoting thrift, resourcefulness, and sustainable practices, a stark contrast to our current consumer-driven society. The emphasis would be on long-term planning and resilience, rather than rapid growth fueled by easily accessible capital. The inability to print money would spur innovation focused on efficiency and sustainability. Resource scarcity would necessitate technologies maximizing utilization, pushing industries towards long-term solutions rather than quick fixes. Investment would shift towards projects with lasting value, potentially slowing rapid technological advancements fueled by readily available capital, while risky ventures might be less frequent. The emphasis on enduring solutions could lead to more robust and environmentally conscious technologies in the long run. This enforced frugality might paradoxically foster ingenuity, leading to breakthroughs that wouldn't have been pursued in a readily accessible capital environment. Inability to print money would drastically alter economies, forcing adaptation and potentially reshaping societal values. In your opinion, what if we couldn't print more money? Share your thoughts in the comments.